हाँ मुळे sir, please start.
Good afternoon to one and all. I am Assistant Professor Mule Machindra. It gives immense pleasure to me introduce and welcome this session resource person, eminent scholar Dr. Sonawane Amit Eknath. Sir has been working in Modern College of Arts, Science, Commerce College, Pune as the Assistant Professor, Department of Geography. Educational qualification MA, B.Ed, PhD, MA History. Sir is having PG and PhD recognition from Savitribai Phule Pune University. Sir is having experience of teaching from various colleges, N. Wadia College Pune, BGS College Wagoli Pune, GS Moje College Pune, Modern College Pune is working right now. One research project has been completed by Sir and one is going on BCUD Pune. Published books Art, published executive editor of peer-reviewed international research Journal of Geography, Maharashtra Bhugol Shastra, Sanshodhan Patrika. 6. Orientation 1. Sir has been completed 2 refresher course, paper presentation, participation, resource person at conference 23. Research paper published in conference souvenirs 9. Conference seminar workshop as a member of organized committee 08. Syllabus restructure workshop FY BA BCom, SY BA BSc MA MSc, TY BA TY BSc, SY BA BSc MA MSc, coordinator of TYBA BSc Geography practical exam from 2014 to 2017, administrative experience, life member of Maharashtra Bhugol Shastra Sanshodhan Patrika, National Journal, life member of Enrich Environment Multidisciplinary International Research Journal, social work, leadership in real work for drought and flood affected people. Various activities have done under committee, tree plantation near college camp and villages of special winter camp. Resource person deliver lecture on various topics such as geographical information system and remote sensing, water and agricultural management, nutrients in geography, role of student in national service scheme, disaster management, environmental awareness, environmental accounting, problem of Indian agriculture, problem of over-urbanization, water harvesting and conservation. So I request to Sir, please guide us on the topic of nutrients in population geography.
Respected coordinators and students. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on particularly population or new trends in population. Okay, can you find my screen?
Yes sir.
Okay. First of all, I am very much thankful to the coordinator, Dr. Manojkumar, Dr. Ganesh Dhavle, and respected HOD of the department. Today's our discussion point is trends in population geography. All the students know that a population typically refers the number of people in a single area, whether it be a city or town, region, country, or the world. Means if we look the history, when the population counts have been started, it goes in a 4th century. 4th century in a 21st century. The calculation of the population or calculation of people for the different purposes. In Greece, the peoples have been calculated for the war. In India, particularly from 1871 to 2021, the new census will be going in the month of March, but I think it is a little bit delayed due to the corona effects. But this, particularly in India, the population have been calculated during the British period for the different purpose. They want to know how much people are there and what what type of utilization of these peoples. But after the independence of the India, after 1951, after the independence, we started our independent census, and 1951 to 2021 or ongoing 2021, we have to calculate the population for the different purpose. And governments typically quantify the size of the resident population within their jurisdiction by a process called a census, or a process of collecting, analyzing, compiling, and publishing data regarding a population. Recently, you know that there are various issues of the why should we calculate the population? Why should we collect the data? And census is not only calculation of the population, because if we goes back in 10 years back in 2011 or 2001, we have calculated according to the religion. We have calculated according to the caste. And in 2021, in India itself, we are going to calculate the people according to the caste, community, and different things have been introduced. And these will be useful for compiling of a data. How much people are living in our country, which caste, which community, though India is a country with a lots of religion, lots of caste and community are there. Though we are bound by our tradition, but these things are very much important for the different purposes. And population trend changes according to the time, and increasing population open the doors of the new research and different patterns in population geography. All you know that. How much population have been increased? After the 1950, up to 2021, means India itself, we find that we are the number 2 onto the paper, but actually we are number 1 onto the ranking by the people's thought. Because you know, the China have adopted a different population policy recently. One child, one policy in their particular country. And in India itself, we can find that two child, but itself the people have adapted this policy, that one child, one policy. If you goes in our society, you can find that though government have not bind the people for one child, one policy, but the people have adopted this policy. Means if we goes in urbanized area of the Maharashtra, urbanized area of the India, we can find that the people have itself adopted the policy that a one child, one policy, and the effect we can find that the population continuously decreasing. Though some of the states of India, we can find that Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan, these states have increasing mode of the population. So our population is continuously increasing. And according to the statistic, we have to maintain the same ratio, or the one child, one policy, though government have not bind it by the special law, but the peoples have adopted it. And within a 2060, we have maintained our population. And today's our discussion point is depend on these. Though change is there, if population it changes naturally, new research areas have been changes, or new doors of the research have been changes. And recently, the corona effect is going on. And all over the world, we can find that new concepts have been introduced, though this is the old concept have been polished. And one of the concept is baby boom. We are not going into details, but I am going to tell you how the research will be included in this one. A baby boom is generally considered to be a sustained increase and then decrease in a birth rate. Means in corona effect is there 2018 to 2020 or 2020. In US itself, if it goes on a world population meter, this is one of the website. I am going to tell you the details of within a few minutes. You can check on the details on that one. We can find that the birth rate in US have been decreased. People are not interested to give the birth to the child or children, because they think that condition is not suitable for them. So in US itself, population level have been decreased or population growth have been decreased. Same we can find in Spain also. Same we can find in European countries. Means in that countries, population have been decreased. A baby boom is a period marked by a significant increase of a birth rate. This demographic phenomena is usually described within a certain geographical bounds of defined national and cultural population. People born during these periods are often called baby boomers. The cause of baby booms involves various fertility factors, and the best known baby boom occurred into the mid 20th century. Means if it goes back, wait a minute. If he goes back in 2020, when some of the students always meet to me in the college and they ask us,
Sir, make it a slide, so please.
okay, I'm showing you the slides. Okay, I'm talking about this demographic phenomena is usually described within a certain geographical bounds of defined national and cultural population, and people born during these periods are often called as a baby boomers. Then we goes in the period when Corona started, 2018, 2019 or COVID-19 up to till. And when I asked various doctors, and what about the situation of the COVID in recent few years or recent months, they said that this will be continuous up to 6 months or 1 month. They didn't predict that one. But those people or those children have been born in this period, it is known as a baby boomers. Means this particular concept have been adopted by the British when Second World War is going on. The people who are born between the period of World War, they are called as the baby boomers. And same concept we can the students are those who have passed during this uh, period of 2018 or 2019-20. Most of the people call that these degrees are Corona degrees. But in geography, it is known as the baby boomers, those who are actually born during this period. And though there are various factors are responsible for the baby boomers. Recently, only one factor is responsible, and that is the Corona effect. Because if it goes accordingly, we know that people are working from the home. Particularly, I'm talking about the India. Those US or these countries, though working from the home, but the deaths are more in US. The main reason behind of that, their life expectancy is more. They are living more than 70 or 80 years or 85 years, and when Corona is there and they are too much ill, because these people are not sustain the pressure, does not sustain or their life, we can say that efficiency is not sustained during this Corona. And the main factor we can find that for increasing the baby boomer in India itself is the period which get for the people for increase the fertility level. And last 2 years, I'm saying that last 2 years, the people are free, they are working from home. And when in 2021, actually people is going to calculate, though calculation is going on, I know that. Government of India is doing a very good thing. They have calculated the people from 18 to 45, 45 to 60, because one national movement is going on of the vaccination, and they have lots of data, and that this data will be definitely useful, because we know that those students are doing research in a population. Data is not easily available, though not population, but all the data which is by the government itself, which are providing by the government itself, data is not easily available. And this 2 years data about the fertility level or the birth of the children will be naturally, we are going to baby boom to baby bust. And all over the world, or corona effect can cause the change in the scenario of the birth. And the following up the assumption, I am not expert in that one, but I am going to tell you, increase in the birth rate, especially we call these one for the India. Because if you check the data of the last 2 years, you can find that birth rate have been increased. And especially the birth rate have been increased, not only in Maharashtra, but we can find that the different parts of the India, the birth rate continuously increasing. And second one, stabilize the birth. Another assumption is there. People think that birth rate have been not increased, yet we have not calculated the population. We have to wait for some time. Maybe the birth rate have been decreased because people are not interested to give birth of the child because they're looking at the condition, that the condition is not suitable for us, and how can we give birth to the child? So maybe that will be stabilize the birth rate, but we have to wait for the data. Then overall impact on the country's growth and development. This is also one of the assumptions. Means is it that will be affect onto the growth and development? Yes, if the birth rate have been increased, naturally that is going to affect onto the growth. Naturally that is going to affect onto development. We can find that recently in last 2 years, though we are fighting with this corona, and lots of or thousands of crore rupees already we vested on the disease, to cure the disease, to fight with the disease, or we can say that on the health facility. If we are giving 1,000 crore rupees onto the health facility, naturally that will be affect onto the development of the country, though people's health parameter in the government's duty. They have to give each and every facility to the people which are living in India. That's the government duty, I know that. But if a birth rate have been increased due to this period, that is known as a baby bust. And many developing countries, such like India, Pakistan, Thailand, have experienced a baby boom since 1950. And as a result of sustained decline in infant and child mortality rates as a result of improved medicine and sanitation. Though 1950, we are looking in some Asian countries like India, Pakistan, Thailand, and Myanmar is there, or Sri Lanka is there. From 1950, though it is continuously baby boom is going on, but this 2 year plays a very important role in the development of the country, because I am sure about that. The data is available on to the World Meter or www.unep, that how much birth rate have been increased in India. I'm going to show you, and this will be naturally effects onto the country's development. And according to the estimates of the United Nations Population Fund, 140 million births were recorded worldwide last year, of which 27.2 were in India. You just look at this. You can find that 27.2 were in India. Means out of 100, we have more than 30% we are contributing in the birth of all over the world. And this will be naturally, or that is going to affect onto the country's development. If you can check it out, you can find that this is the data. You can goes on to the World Meters of Population of Asia. You can find that if it goes from 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020, these two, 2018 to 2020, though 2021 it have not been completed, so data has been not added in this one. You can find that one fertility rate, though it is common here in 2018 and 19, and we can find that in 2019 to 2020 it have been little bit decreases, though most of the people say that this particular data is not correct, because as the lockdown have been removed by the government, this fertility rate have been changes. I don't know exactly if the data will be available. This will be effect on to the we can find the data on these one. And same thing we can find on the urban population as well as urban population, how it changes. And though ranking have been given, India is at number 2. Someone mic have been started.
So what is the source of this data?
You just check it out.
www.worldmeters.
Yes, you can check it out. www.worldmeters.com, info population of the Asia.
Okay. Is it the authentic site?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have any queries, you can ask me after my lecture, okay?
Actually, World Meter is our official website.
If you have any doubt, you can ask me after some time. And turn off your mic. Someone mic is going on. Okay, I have to move on to the, it is disturbing. Okay.
किशोर सर माइक बंद करा किशोर सर.
Okay. Then we have to move on to the next concepts. Though it is old concept, but the new things have been changed. We are going to discuss within a few minutes. Some population are relatively young. That is, we can say they have a large proportion of people in the younger age groups, and the high fertility countries of Africa with large proportion of young adults and children are examples. Other populations are relatively old, such as many countries in Europe. These two types of population have markedly different age composition. As a consequence, they also have a different proportion of the population in the labor force or in a school, as well as these different medical needs, consumer preference, and even crime patterns. A population age structure has a great deal to do with how that population lives, and developing countries have relatively young population, while most developed countries have old or aging population. In many developing countries, 40% or more of the population is under age 15, while 4% is 65 or older. On the other hand, in virtually every developed country, less than 25% of the population is under the age of 15, and more than 10% is 65 or older. This particular topic have been selected. The main thing is behind of that one. India is the youngest country. All you know. After 30 years, if we go ahead in 2050, 2060, we are going to become old. And according to the population, if it goes on to the definition of the population, who is young, who is old, so many controversy about that one. Accordingly, we goes up to 15, up to 18. That's become young have been started. After 60, that's old have been calculated. So much definition have been given. If it goes on that one, population aging according to the UN World Population Prospect 2020, according to the data from World Population Prospect, the 2020 revision, the number of old person, those age 60 years or over is expected to more than double by 2015 and to more than triple by 2100, rising from 962 million globally in 2070 to 2.1 billion in 2050 and 3.1 billion in 2100. Means, if we check it out, if the country is younger, the country will naturally develop. All you know that. If it goes in the countries like Japan, we find that the country's aging is the biggest problem. Some of the country like Japan is number one when in 1900, or we can say in 1998, we have to purchase the electronic goods. It comes from the Japan. But the main problem in Japan, they are facing that aging of the population. And if aging of the population, naturally it affects onto the growth and development of the country. Population aging is poised to become one of the most significant social transformation of the 21st century. Some of the definitions are there. I'm not going in details, but the process by which older individuals become a proportionally larger share of the total population, UN report on world population aging 1950 to 2015. Aging of the population is summary term from shift in the age distribution, age structure. This has been given by Encyclopedia of Population, Paul Dinami and Geoffrey New York. The aging of population is often measured by increase in the percentage of elderly people of retirement age, the Encyclopedia of Population. The median age, the age at which is exactly half the population is older and another half is younger, is perhaps the most widely used indicator. This is by Encyclopedia of Population. But our main discussion is related to the measures of population aging and effects of that one. Since the study of population aging is often driven by a concern over its burden of retirement system, then we come in India. Old age dependency ratio, the number of individual of the retirement. In India, we are though bound by the traditions and customs and different things. The boy is look after his father, or the girl is look after his father. This is the old tradition is going on in India. So we are a little bit away from the problems of aging. But old age dependency have been increased into the urbanized area. These people are mostly have been in a problematic situation because no one is look after them. At this time, then they depend on to the various sources. And accordingly, government is the main source who have to look after these peoples. And in India itself, we can find that after the 2005, government have stopped giving the pension. Pension is the provision which is made for the people into the retirement or into the old age. And mostly only one states in India have been giving the pension or retirement scheme pensions particularly. And this have been stopped because the government thinking that's a lots of burden or thousands of crore rupees of the burden, particularly onto the government to give these pensions to the people. And this will be very difficult to discuss why the government is not giving, but this will be a biggest problem in front of the every government which comes into the power. Then new measures of aging like a prospective age and a prospective median age and proportion of elderly people. These are the who is old or the suppose a man living in Western Europe is going to celebrate his 60th birthday, he is old. Means some of the people is asking after the 60 he is old, but in India itself, when the persons become above the 60, we can say that it is old. And today this person will be considered at the middle age, and around 93% of the men survive until that age. About 150 years ago, less than 25% were celebrating their 60th birthday, and indeed at those times, someone at the age was considered an old man. Recently, we know that the life expectancy of the people have been increased in India. Also, it have been increased. And when life expectancy have been increased, then one question in front of us: after the 60, is it the people is old or not? But accordingly, census have given the answers of all these one. The traditional age measures is backward-looking one, and it tells us how many years a person has already lived. But this is an incomplete measures because it ignores the changes in life expectancy. Young and old are relatively notions, and their common reference point is life expectancy. Some of the references has been given, like in Sanderson's W. Scrubble, and average remaining lifetimes can increase as a human population age. Some of the references is given. Is it the prospective age measures how old people are not only from the date of the birth, but also in relation to their lengthening life expectancy. after 2060, we are going to face this problem. Though we are at this moment, we are the youngest country in the world, but the people are going to become old, and when older people will be there, this is one of the biggest doors will be open for the people who are doing the research. Means if you goes in IIPS Mumbai, I have read that very few people are doing the research on aging. Very few peoples, because if he goes onto the US or UNEP website, you can find that most of the people are doing the research of the aging. Though aging is not about the 60. Aging means it started from 0 to 5, 5 to 15. It have been divided. Then this the prospective age have been given. Okay, you just check it out. Who is really old at the 65? You can find the data. It is a 1980, 2050, and 2050 also. India's ranking, we can find that compared to these countries like Brazil and China, and in 2015, you can find that we will be at the level with the countries like, though we are a little bit high from every country. Means we are going to face the problem in 2050 about the aging of the population. This country already facing these problems, like Japan, I already told you, or Republic of Korea, or these countries are already facing. You can check it out. 2015 or 2015, Italy also facing the problem. France is also facing the problem. China is a little bit ahead, because in 2015 these will be facing the problem, but these countries are different. They can manage their resource in a different way. Population of the country is its most important demographic indicator, and the population of elderly in India had been increasing steadily since 1961. The growth in the elderly population became faster, mainly due to decrease in the death rate because of various health interventions up to the census 1981. And the addition of the elderly population during 2001 to 2011 was more than 27 million. And the projected population for the future years are required for preparation of the prospective plan in a various socio-economic sector. According to the report of Technical Group on Population Projection for India and the states 2011 to 2036, there are nearly 138 million elderly persons in India in 2021, comprising of 67 million males and 71 million females are there. This data, you just check it out, the data, you can find that. Though in front of us, we never think that is going to affect on the country's development, because you can find that if these peoples have been continuously increased, so many problems we are going to face, because unemployment is the biggest problem in front of us, and that is going to increase. Though any government cannot provide you a job, though that is the duty of the government to give every facility to its people, but they are not giving, because if baby boom will be increased in these 2 years, that will be going to affect in next 20 years, because when these peoples or the children is going to become a 21 age, like in 2020 there are births, and in 2042 this will be effects on to the country's development. And at that time, you can find that the elderly people have been increased. And when elderly will be increased, this will be a biggest problem. So many things have been given. It's interesting to note that the population census 1991, the number of elderly females exceeds the number of elderly males. You can find that the females exceeds the numbers of elderly males, and that's you know that about the marriage system in India. And if the marriage systems are responsible that females are more, because the males are the mortality rate of the males have been more because of the age difference of the marriage. And however, in the last 2 decades, the trend has been reversed, and elderly males outnumber the elderly females up to in 2031. And you just check it out. The data have been given per report of the technical group of population projection for India and states 2011 to 36. An increase of nearly 34 million elderly persons was seen in 2021 over the population census of 2011. And same thing, the data we can find. I am not giving you the data particularly each and every states, but some presentation will be there, or some graphs will be there. You just check it out. The sex-wise distribution of elderly population age 60 years and above is given. You can check it out. Male and female have been given. And if it comes here, you can find that one. In 2001, you can find that the male percentage is more in age-old group. Females are less. Then we come in a 2011, we can find that it have been increased 52.8, and male have been 51. Same thing we can find in 2021. But at this moment, you can find that the number have been increased of the females. Though this is a projected one, but yeah, this is very much big impact onto the society. If this number have been increased, and the main thing increase this number, all you know, the educational facility which are available in India have been free education to all. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, that have been adopted by the government, and from these one you can find that one the ratio continuously increasing, and the effect from these one we can find the effects in a 20 years of a span, and this have been increased. The medical facility is one of the reason. If we goes according to the demographic transition model, we can find that in earlier stages no medical facility is there, and after the intervention of a technological development or intervention of a medical facility, transport, trade have been increased, and at that time due to that one these things have been changes. And in 2031 you can find that female percentage is more. And if this have been more, the dependency ratio have been naturally going to increase, and this will be a biggest problem in front of the country like India, because in 2031, if all these peoples, about the 92.59% or about 90%, and here 100%, out of them 50% peoples are working, then this is not the problem for these peoples. If these peoples are not working anywhere, this dependency ratio will be naturally going to increase in recent years. And we are the witness of these things, how this will be effect on to the growth and development of the country. This also a percentage have been given of the share of elderly population in total population, person, male, female, but I'm not going in the details of that one because I already told you how this will be affect. This is the percentage of distribution of population by broad age groups in India. You can find that age groups have been given 60 plus. In 1951, it is a 5.5, in 61, 5.6, 71, 6, and that will be continuously increasing. In 2001, it becomes a 10.1, 2031 it's become 13, and in 2041 it's become 35, and still on. In up to 2050 to 2060, more than 45% of the population of the India will be old, and it will be affect on to the everything in India. Population aging will certainly be the source of many challenges in 21st century, but there is no reason to exaggerate those challenges through mismeasurement. We'll be able to address these problems better with a larger array of measures of aging, using those are appropriate to the task at hand. The presented approach reconceptualizes age based on the characteristics of the people and allows the construction of a new multidimensional measures of aging. Means, I already told you the aging, how much is the age of the old? All the European countries say that the 60 is not the people who are old. Because in last 100 years, due to the life expectancy have been increased, and these people after the age of the 60, they think that these peoples are not old peoples. But in India, still we are going the same way. We have calculated 60 is the age old people, because if we goes or if we ask our grandfather or grandmother, they say that during their period the people are living 90 years or 100 years. Means 60 year is not the age old peoples. Means 70 or 80 is the age old people at that time. But things have been changes, because there are difficult problems by nature itself, or so many diseases are there. So in India, we can say that the 60 plus is the age old population. This is very much important. In India, with the majority of population age less than 30, and the problems and the issue of its grey population has not been given serious consideration. Means, particularly in India, we can find that these problems we are going to face, and research doors have been open for the students who are the specialization in population, or those who want to interest to do the research in particularly dependency ratio, or the age-old population, or the young. Concepts have been changes. By 2026, in North India, population will be younger compared to the South. This is very much important. You just remember that. In India, another paradoxical problem will arise due to the course of time. By the year 2026, Kerala will be the highest educated working people, with the average age having above median age 35 years, whereas Uttar Pradesh will have uneducated and less educated working population with the average age below 30 years. Although projections indicated that India's population above 60 years will be double in size between 2001 to 2026. The elders will account 12.17% of percentage of overall population in 2026. You can check it out. This percentage I have shown in one graph. You can find that in 2026 it's become 12.17, and being a vast country, India may face the problems differently at a rural and urban part. Means most of the students are living in rural area, most of the students are living in urban areas, and these problems will be different in rural and urban areas. I already told you, in rural areas, if the age-old father or mother is looked by the children itself, or the girl child is there, that is looked after. But in city area, we can find that mostly, if more urbanization will be there, then it's create a problem for the everyone, because dependency ratio have been increased, and these people are not taken care by the anyone, and so far that this is the biggest problem. So on a both level, on rural and urban part, it have been different problems will be going to face. And in India, I know that India will be tackle these problems, but these problems will be in a different in our country compared to the other foreign countries, because these countries have made a separate things for these age-old peoples. But still, we are in India. We didn't think that there is no need of to separate things, like separate houses will be constructed, or a Nivara house will be constructed for these peoples. We are thinking that our children will be looked after these peoples. And this share will be given, though this is the 2001 data, but another 2011 and 2021 projected data is there. I'm going on that one. There is, you can find that the steady rise in the share of the elderly population at the age of 60 or above. We can, with the graph I already show you, you can find that it is continuously increasing. And from 1991 to 2021, it goes up directly. 1% directly increase will be there. So this will be upcoming issue in front of us. Then this will be 2001, 2011, and 21 is the next one I'm going to show you. But the states, we can find that how that some of the states like Dadra Nagar Haveli up to Kerala, we can find that percentage of the elderly people into the total population of the states. Some of the states we can find that Kerala, we can find that elderly people is more than 10.5. Then Himachal Pradesh is there. Punjab is also one of them. Tamil Nadu. Maharashtra is also there. You can find that these 5 states in the rank is Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, and Himachal Pradesh, and Kerala is in age-old ranking. And lowest we can find that Dadra Nagar Haveli, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, or Meghalaya. Means these the smaller states actually in the ranking of the lowest ranking in the elderly population. You just check it out. This data of 2011 census 2021 is projected, and 2031 projected is there. You can find it have been rural and urban have been not given, but total percentage have been given. How much population will be in that above the 60? Though it is a 137 and 193, 66.8 and 92.9, means most of the peoples are in 2031 ahead, we can find in the age-old stage. Same things have been given, how much population in the different age groups is there. This is biggest challenge. In 2011, we can find that 30.8 population is in a 0 to 14, and more than 60% in 15 to 59, and up to 15 to 59 it is the youngest population. So more than 50% population is the youngest one. If we calculated these things, we are the youngest country in the world, and same thing we can find here. But then age group have been increased in 2031, and this data will be increased in next 10 years, and problem in front of us. Then life expectancy have been given. This is very much important because the countries like a US at this moment are facing the problem. The life expectancy is more. When the life expectancy is more, that will be benefited for the people, but that is another side effect is there. If life expectancy is more than 60 or 70, 80, 90, 95, 98, if government is taking care of you, or your family is taking care of you in the proper way, then it's good. But most part of the world, this problem arises in every country, because in India this data of the India we can find that this is taken from 2014 to 18, so data is not available after 18. So total male have been given life expectancy of these peoples, and you can find that percentage is only given. A specific death rate have been given. Old age dependency ratio in India by sex it is given. So this will be very much important. Then some of the problems is there. I'm not given all the problems, but those which are very most concerns regarding the research I have given in this one. These are very basic to all these problems faced by age. With increasing age, person increasingly have to move out labor force, leading to loss of employment and income. Means if the age have been increased, we have to bring some labors from different countries. If we take example of Japan itself, we can find that the age-old people have been continuously increasing. And though if you check it out, the population policy of Japan, you can find that these people though are giving some funds for the marriages also, but the people are not interested to do the marriages. because marriage is the burden on them. And if a marriage is there, for the birth of a children, the government are providing assistance, financial assistance to these people, but they are not ready to give the birth of the child. And then Japan is going to face the labor force problem recently also. And this also entails a reduction in their self-esteem and well-being. Lack of adequate financial resources make it more difficult to handle old age related issues and requirements. I already told you, the countries like India itself, we are going to face the biggest problem in recent years. After 2016, everyone is going to become old, those who are actually attending this lecture. And when in 2060, financial assistance or financial resources is very much important. Because if we look at this moment, we can find that corona disease is one of them. We have to spend 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh rupees into the hospitals. And in 2016, the medical facility is good in our country compared to other countries or Asian countries. But financial resources is very much important in age-old stage. And age-old stage, it didn't get the financial resources or money is not there. It's create biggest problems, or so many issues are there. And these issues become another research topics. Then psychological problems is there. With growing age, older person experience various anatomical and psychological challenges, and these changes bring many psychological behavior and attitudinal change in them. Means if you ask those people who are living in rural area and urban area, if we call them old, they are very angry. Those who are about the 60, if we call them you are old, then they are very angry. Why? They think that I am not old. The age is 60, but I am not old. Means the psychological behavior have been changed, and this will be continuously affect on them. Their behavioral pattern also changes, and loss of physical strength and stamina become more acute as a person grow older and require systematic handling. This is very much important. Require a systematic handling, and this will be more important in the countries like in India. Systematic handling is not done, and various issues will be created. Housing related problem. Housing for age need to be suitable to the condition of failing health and illness, commonly associated with later years of life, failing eyesight of hearing, slowing and unsureness of steps, diminishing energy, and more acute disabilities. Housing related problems means everything will be there: hearing, blindness, forgetfulness. These will be the biggest problems. Means medical facility we have to increase in this during this period. We have 35 or 40 years in our hands. At this during this period, we have to construct the various hospitals in India itself, which can provide the basic medical facilities to these age-old peoples. And we have a good experience at this moment. During this disease, we can find that the hospitals are not in a proper stage, or hospitals are not equipped. And this will be a biggest lessons that we have to prepare for this one. Crime against age-old person or age person. Age persons are most vulnerable to the victim of any crime, since they are a soft target, and crime cases will be increased. We can find that in most of the families which in urbanized area living in the society into the flats, and so much crimes against these age-old peoples have been continuously going on, or to cheating of these peoples. And recently online things have been going on. These peoples are the soft targets, means a lottery or some link will be sent to them, and these peoples are not familiar with these new changes into the technology, and their money or their cash have been deducted from their accounts. So in recent years, this will be biggest problems in the countries like India. Then age dependency ratio is there, but I am not going on age dependency ratio. I will be move on to the Next one. You are familiar with the age-dependency ratio. I move on to the fertility. You are familiar with this definition, I know that. Fertility refers to the number of live births women have, and it differs from fecundity, which refers to the psychological capability of women to reproduce. Fertility is directly determined by the number of factors, which in turns are affected by great many other factors: social, cultural, environmental, economic, and health. But these few are the concept of a replacement level fertility. You heard about that TFR can be used to indicate replacement level fertility by showing the average number of children sufficient to replace both parents in population. Then population momentum is another concepts. You are familiar with this one. Population momentum refers to the tendency of population to continue to grow after replacement level fertility has been achieved. A population that has achieved a replacement or a below replacement fertility may still continue to grow for some decades because past high fertility leads to high concentration of people in the youngest ages. And the total births continue to exceed total deaths as these youths become parents. Eventually, this large group become elderly and death increases to equal the number of births of the outnumber them. Means how the population momentum is going on. This have been given in this one because this will be very much important in India also, because thus it may be take 2 or 3 generations before each new birth is offset by death in the population. Because we find that life expectancy in India itself have been growing about the 55 or 56. Still, it will be increased in recent years. But the population momentum means the period from one generation to another generation, particularly. That if that will be increased, population growth rate will be maintained. These are some of the concepts, though it is not used in India, but it's my duty to tell you that these things have been going to change in the scenario of Indian population in recent years. So formula have been given. The birth rate of unmarried woman is the number of live births by unmarried woman per 1,000, and it have been calculated. If you check it out, some of the research papers is given in natural. So how these things have been changes in the US or in particularly European countries. Because this rate indicates the infants are born to unmarried women and should not be confused with the percentage of births to unmarried women just discussed below. Means if we want to calculate the birth rate of unmarried women, simple formula have been given. Number of births to unmarried women divided by number of unmarried women at the age of 15 to 49 into divided by K. Means you have to calculate how much births for that particular unmarried woman and divided by number of unmarried women in the age group, especially 15 to 49. And there were 53 births per 1,000 unmarried women ages 15 to 45 into the United States in 2008. You just check it out. Particularly in 1,000 unmarried women, 53 births are for unmarried woman is in US. Though in India, we cannot get this data. The drawback that I have checked in various sources, but actually this data is not available. Though I have a census data from 1951 to 2011, 32 GB data I have taken from IITS. So many data is there, but especially this data is not given to us by the government. I don't know why they are not giving. But this is the new door will be open for the research if we get the data for especially these one. His birth rate have been calculated. Same thing onto the last one, unmarried woman's birth rate have been calculated, and this will be same. And percentage of birth outside marriage. Though I'm telling these different things to you, I know that. This have been not in our society, in our traditional systems, but these things have been changes. So I'm just telling you, in 2008, 41% of births in the United States were outside marriage. And in 2009, the percentage of birth outside marriage was 55.1 in Norway and 6.6 in Greece. You can check it out. You can find that this 55 is more. So this is also a part of our new research in Indian society after a few years, maybe. Then contraceptive prevalence rate, I'm not going to tell you in detail. Some different things have been included in this one. Then abortion rate is there. Though abortion is banned by the government itself in India, but sometime due to some medical conditions, abortion will be done and abortion rate will be calculated. And that will be calculated by a number of abortion and numbers of women ages in 50 into 49 into K. Some of the countries have given permissions for the abortions. If it goes in the countries like Singapore or Malaysia or Thailand, abortion is permitted by their government. But recently in India itself, we have ban on to the abortions. So this data is available. I know that if you check it out, that abortion data is available due to some medical condition. Abortions are done, and you can find out that abortion means a death of that particular child's, and so that have been maintained by the government. Then abortion ratio is given, number of abortion divided by number of live births into K, and the percentage have been calculated. This will be new things. Then mortality. I'm not going to tell you about the mortality. Mortality means the death of that person.
Hello, are you able to hear him?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
I'll just check what has happened.
सर पीपीटी दिसते पण आवाज नाही येते सरांचा. पीपीटी गेली.
त्यांचं हे झालं असणार आहे,
रेंज गेली असेल.
रेंज गेली असणार आहे. बरोबर. आले परत आले.
Sorry for interruption.
Yes,
Power
no
is
problem.
cut.
No
Power
problem.
is cut. So okay, I'm talking about the proportion dying from the specific cause. Death from a specific cause can be expressed in a percentage of all deaths. Means this one example is given. But suppose we want to calculate the specific cause death, means recently corona disease is there, and number of corona deaths divided by total deaths into K, and you can find the answer will be there, and you can check it out. I have read some research papers on to the specific one. According to the districts, some people have been done this work for calculating the specific cause or specific things for the death. And the cause death vary greatly from population to population and from period to period, and are influenced by many factors, including health and environmental conditions. In 1900 in the United States, the phenomena bronchitis influenza class of a disease was the leading cause of death, accounting for 17.2% of all deaths. If you check it out, the same more than this one deaths by the corona recently. And you can calculate the death also due to the corona of each and every states. This one I have done for number of disease from corona disease by total death.
स्क्रीनच नाही दिसत. स्क्रीन दिसतच नाहीये प्लीज.
स्क्रीन शेअर करा.
ओके, आता दिसते?
हो सर, हो.
Okay. I will repeat within a seconds and then I move on to the next. Proportion dying from a specific cause, and a specific cause recently we have one disease like a corona, and so you can calculate the deaths of each and every states of India, and this is also one of the good part of the research for the students also. Formula is given number of deaths from the corona disease divided by total deaths each and every states, or you can calculate by the village wise also, and village wise it is a good work because this data will be available by the government itself. Compiled data is available. Then life expectancy, I'm not going to waste on the time on life expectancy. Then morbidity I'm going to calculate. Morbidity refers to the disease and illness, injury and disability in a population. Data about the frequency and distribution of disease can aid in controlling its spread and in some cases and maybe lead to identification of its causes. Incidence rate have been calculated. Number of people developing tuberculosis during a given time of period divided by population at a risk into K. Same thing we can calculate for the recently disease also. Incident rate कितना है आपके यहाँ पे calculate करना है. You just change this word tuberculosis instead of corona during a time of period 2018 to 2020 period में कितने peoples and how many peoples have risked their lives. You can find the data and you can find the result. यहाँ पे दिया है the incidence of tuberculosis in the Democratic Republic of the Congo in 2009 is given to 372% per 1,000 population. This is also one of the good research you can do in this one. Prevalence rate is given. The prevalence rate is a number of people who have particularly disease at the given point of time in 1,000 population. Same thing, यहाँ पे HIV/AIDS is given. Instead of that number of people ages since 15 to 49 with corona disease, you get a data, and this is also good research. Then case rate about H1N1, because a few years ago there is a swine flu, and the formula have been used for the swine flu, and recently corona is there, so you can use this formula for corona, because case rate every day changes. You are witness of these things. You can find that in Pune case rate have been changed, in Pimpri it changed, in every city have been changed, and government have given some implications for that one. If rate is more than 10%, lockdown will be there, and this will be calculated by this particular formula. Then a case fertility rate is given, number of person dying from the disease divided by number of person contracting the disease during this period. This also useful research for you. Divorce rate, you can get a data in India about the divorce, because recently last 2 years you can find that the divorce percentage have been increased in India. You can check it out. Some divorce courts are in Pune itself. You get online data also. In 2009, the crude divorce rate in Japan among Japanese national was 2% per 1,000 population. And this is also one of the good research. I'm going very fast. Thank you very much. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Because power cut is there, and can I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you are. Yeah, participants, if you have questions, please ask him. He may be short of battery at his end. So
Yeah.
Sir,
I have a
hello.
हा बोला तुम्ही, आवाज येतोय मला.
He said, in new methods of population aging, you have shown that perspective aging And there you explain population census 1991, the number of elderly females exceeds the number of elderly males.
Yeah.
Is it possible to show that slide again, sir?
Okay, wait a minute. This one?
No, sir. Previous. No. Yeah.
This one?
Population share of elderly. No, sir. New measures of population aging. Perspective aging.
Wait a minute. Oh, I have already shown you.
Yeah.
This one? A specific
No,
death.
no.
Then life expectancy.
No, sir.
Then
That was the descriptive slide only. No data was.
okay, descriptive slide. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, this one.
Yeah, sir, this one.
Okay, yeah.
Next slide, sir.
Yeah. All this data is available onto the censusindia.com or www.censusindia.com.
Okay. Sir, from your discussion, we understood that now India is going towards that country like Japan in near future or after 20 to 30 years later, that we all will be aged and that aging population will be more in India.
Exactly.
But now, sir, now we are facing one more problem, that is demographic dividend in Indian context. Now we are facing that. Means here now younger populations are more, but jobs are crunching, unemployment also increased. So how to solve that problem, sir? What do you think now at present context, when the corona affected and that the economic condition is very worse in our country? That is one thing. And other thing is that there is a two different cultural and socio-economic perspective in North India versus South India. In South India, population is less in comparative to North India, and in South India, education and health facilities, these two are very high as compared to North India.
Okay, I am giving you a first question answer. I know that the demographic dividend is there, and I already told you the people itself have adapted their own population policy. This government ने नहीं बताया आपको कि one child policy. If you goes in urbanized area, you can find that the people itself adopted this policy, and this demographic dividend will be changed. It's require lots of time. You know that if we want to change the social setup of the society, not Maharashtra की मुझे बदलनी है, Bengal की बदलनी है, Uttar Pradesh की बदलनी है. I have to change the social setup of all over the India, and it's required so many years, and we are the witness of that one. We want to educate a girl child, beti bachao, beti padhao. Last 30 years, we are saying that, and after 30 or 35 years, the implementation is going on. Everyone is interested to learn the girl child. But last 30 years, you check it, the data of the literacy, you can find that no one is interested to learn the girl child. Badal hoga, demographic dividend is going to change. Means every state have to adapt some policies. Every state. But in India, population policy is made by the government itself. Recently, you know that Uttar Pradesh have made up its population policy, or they are thinking to made it population policy. They are I think I have to congratulate Adityanath, that yogi, because such a big decision they have taken. Because if we want to control the population, we want to remove the demographic dividend, particularly in different states. That is the biggest steps have been taken. Second question, you are particularly about the cultural difference and about the educational, particularly literacy difference. Answer in your hand, because if we want to change the literacy level, we are going to increase the school, but people are not ready to send the children to the school. Some of the states, you know, that Bimaru in census itself have been written Bimaru, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, or this specific name have been given. I am not blaming on these one, but the name have been given, and the country's development is aided by these 4 or 5 states, because lots of or thousands of crore rupees are already implementation is we are giving these some states. And if we want to remove the disparities particularly, we have to come on to the one platform, and that will be possible. I know that we are on the edge of the change of the social setup. ऐसा हुआ है, हम सोशल सेटअप बदल रहे हैं, हमारा माइंड बदल रहा है. कितने कितने दिन लगेंगे? आंसर इन योर हैंड. I think it's required. I am studying the population, so I know that after 2060, the population growth rate of these states like Uttar Pradesh will be 0. Then India is on the good track. Any doubt?
Thank you, sir.
सर मी विचारायचं होतं मला
हो.
मला हे विचारायचं होतं की जसं माल्थसने आपल्याला सांगितलं होतं की जर पॉप्युलेशन वाढली तर त्याचं ते बॅलन्स करण्यासाठी निसर्ग त्याची सोय करेल. जसं आपण आता बघितलं की कोरोना आला किंवा आधीच्या काळात महायुद्ध आले किंवा महामारी आली होती, तर त्याचा आणि याचा सहसंबंध जोडता येईल का त्याच्या म्हणण्यानुसार? आणि दुसरा एक प्रश्न मला असं विचारायचा होता, जसं स्कॅन्डिनेव्हियन कंट्रीमध्ये असं झालं की बर्थ रेट खूप कमी आला, म्हणजे फर्टिलिटी रेट त्यांचा खूप, म्हणजे काही ठिकाणी त्याचा निगेटिव्ह गेला होता. तर तसंच इंडियामध्ये सिक्कीम आणि मणिपूर या 2 स्टेट बद्दल होत आहे, तिकडचा खूप कमी झालाय. तर भविष्य काळाच्या दृष्टीने तिथल्या इकॉनॉमी वर काय परिणाम होऊ शकतो का? कारण आता चायनाने त्यांची 1 चाइल्ड पॉलिसी ब्रेक केली आहे, कारण त्यांचं इकॉनॉमिक ग्रोथ किंवा डेव्हलपमेंट वर परिणाम होऊ नये म्हणून. मला हे 2 प्रश्नाबद्दल थोडी माहिती हवी होती.
मॅडम, पहिला प्रश्न आहे तुमचा की मी मराठीतच बोलेल तुमच्याशी, तुमचा प्रश्न मराठीत असल्यामुळे, की चायनाची आणि आपली ही तुलना पहिल्यांदा होऊ शकत नाही मॅडम. पहिली गोष्ट, कारण चायनाची जी सिस्टीम आहे किंवा त्यांच्याकडं जे मार्क्सवाद आहे त्या पद्धतीने बदल करणं आपल्याकडं कदापि शक्य नाहीये, कारण आपण लोकशाहीच्या मार्गाने जाणारा देश आहे. आपल्याकडं कॉमन मॅनला सुद्धा तो बोलण्याचा अधिकार आहे. आणि मागे तुम्ही पाहिलं असेल की उत्तर प्रदेशमध्ये की एक साधं त्यांनी बिल पास करायचं ठरवलं की लोकसंख्येच्या संदर्भात, मीन्स वी वॉन्ट टू चेंज द पॉप्युलेशन पॉलिसी इन पर्टिक्युलरली उत्तर प्रदेश. मग त्याच्यावरनं तुम्हाला माहित असेल की किती गदारोळ झाला. हो, म्हणजे आणि चायना हे करू शकेल. आणि मग त्यामध्ये मध्येच असं कधीतरी होतं की 2070 साली भारताची लोकसंख्या स्टॅग्नंट लेवलला येईल, मग आपल्याला पुन्हा मग लोकसंख्या वाढीसाठी प्रयत्न करावे लागतील. मग हे नकोच, आपण ह्या मार्गाने चाललोय ते योग्य आहे. पण त्याचं उत्तर खरं सांगितलं तर लोकांच्या, मी आधीच सांगितलं की लोकांची मानसिक स्थिती बदलायची असेल त्याला फार मोठा काळ जावा लागतो. आणि हा बदल फक्त लोकांवरच आहे, कारण आपण आता पाहिलं की लोकांनी स्वतःच्या मनानंच एक पॉलिसी ठरवली की एक मुलगा किंवा एक मुलगी मला असेल तरी बास. मग त्याचा परिणाम हा भविष्यात होणार आहे मॅडम. आणि कुठे होणार आहे? अर्बनाइज, स्पेशली अर्बनाइज एरियामध्ये होणार आहे. म्हणजे आता 2015ला ठरवलं तर तो बदल तुम्हाला 1-2 वर्षात दिसत नाहीये, त्याचे बदल आपल्याला 20 वर्षांना दिसतात, 25 वर्षांना दिसतात. मग हा बदल आपल्याला दिसेल. दुसरं आहे की तुम्ही म्हटलात की माल्थसने सांगितलं की फूड इज एसेन्शियल फॉर द सर्व्हायव्हल ऑफ ह्युमन बिंग्स, आणि त्याने सांगितलं की फ्लड्स वगैरे तसं ठीक आहे. म्हणजे पण त्यांना असा काही फरक पडणार नाहीये, कारण आपण पाहिलं असेल की US मधली जर आपण डेथ्स पाहिले कोरोनाचे डिसीजचे, ते फार नाहीयेत मॅडम. आणि ते जास्त असण्याचं सगळ्यात महत्वाचं कारण मी तुम्हाला सांगितलं की तिथे लाईफ एक्सपेक्टन्सी एवढी आहे की 80-90 वर्ष माणूस फार जगतो, म्हणजे त्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त जगतो. आणि 90 वर्षाच्या पुढे की कुठलाही डिसीज, म्हणजे साधारण हवामानामध्ये महाराष्ट्रात किंवा भारतात बदल झाला, सगळ्यात पहिल्यांदा त्रास होतो लहान मुलं आणि म्हातारी माणसं. आणि मग त्यामुळं त्यांना तो तिकडे ते डेथ्स होण्याचं प्रमाण जास्त आहे. आपण पण आपल्या भारतामध्ये पाहिलं असेल, मी तुम्हाला सांगितलं की केस रेट काढायचा आपल्याला 18 ते 59 मध्ये किती लोक गेले. पहिल्या लाटेमध्ये आपण पाहिलं असेल कोरोनाच्या भारतामध्ये फार कमी डेथ्स होते. दुसऱ्या लाटेमध्ये त्यामध्ये जास्त गेलेत. आता तिसऱ्या आता लाट येईल का नाही माहिती नाही मला, त्याच्याबद्दल मला बोलायचं नाहीये. पण मग कंट्रोल केला बाय इट्स अ नॅचरल कंट्रोल, बिकॉज नेचर आता कंट्रोल करणार नाही. ह्युमन बिंग इज गोइंग टू कंट्रोल इच अँड एव्हरीथिंग अबाउट दिस वन. बाकीच्या राष्ट्राची आपली तुलना होणार नाही, कारण ते मेडिकल फॅसिलिटी नाही, इक्विप आहेत. आपल्याकडे थोडेसे डेथ जास्त होऊ शकतात, सांगता येत नाहीये. त्याचं उत्तर तेच आहे.
ओके सर, थँक्यू.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर. तर माझा एक प्रश्न असा होता की सुरुवातीला तुम्ही सांगितलं की आपल्याकडे जनरली सेन्सेस वाईज आपण कास्ट वाईज सेन्सेस होतो आपल्याकडे.
नाही करायचा.
अच्छा, करायचं आहे. मग एम्पेरिकल डेटाच्या संदर्भात काय की सध्या आता आपण बघतो न्यूजवरती प्रत्येक वेळेस आपल्याला ऐकायला मिळतं एम्पेरिकल डेटा हे करायचं आहे, त्यानुसार इलेक्शन होईल किंवा काय, ते काय थोडं जर समजून सांगितलं तर बरं.
नाही, ते गरजेचंच आहे. मी ते सुरुवातीला सांगणार होतो की एम्पेरिकल डेटा इज बीन कलेक्टेड फॉर द डिफरंट पर्पज. मीन्स सपोज मला एकच उदाहरण मी देतो. म्हणजे आता मला महाराष्ट्रामधल्या मराठा समाजाला आरक्षण द्यायचंय असं गव्हर्नमेंटचं म्हणणं आहे. मग खरं देता येईल का? एम्पेरिकल डेटामध्ये तुम्हाला सोशिओ इकॉनॉमिक डेटा पण घ्यायचा आहे. सगळ्या त्याच्यामध्ये फार कॅटेगरीज केलेल्या आहेत. म्हणजे पूर्वी काय व्हायचं, हाऊसहोल्ड यायचं, फक्त हाऊसहोल्ड मध्ये घर आहे का, घरातली व्यक्ती किती, एवढं यायचं. आता हाऊसहोल्डचे टाइप्स केले त्यांनी, तुम्ही कुठल्या घरामध्ये राहता, तसा हा डेटा येईल भविष्यामध्ये. म्हणजे जर एम्पेरिकल डेटा आता कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं चाललंय गव्हर्नमेंटचं, तेवढं फारसं सोपं नाहीये ते. म्हणजे आपण राहतो की बघतो की आपण क्वेशनरी घेऊन लोकांच्या घरी सर्वे करायला गेल्यानंतर की लोक प्रॉपर उत्तर देतील का नाही, आणि परत त्यांच्या जातीबद्दल त्यांना प्रश्न विचारला तर मग ते राग येतो. मग तो विचारायचा कसा, मग इथून सुरुवात आहे. आणि एम्पेरिकल डेटाच्या माध्यमातूनच आता भविष्यातल्या इलेक्शन होतील. म्हणजे कुठल्या समाजासाठी कुठला मतदारसंघ हा ठरवण्याचं पहिलं काम एम्पेरिकल डेटा कलेक्शन होईल. आता त्याला फार वेळ जाईल, हे लक्षात ठेवा. म्हणजे आता आपण ठरवलंय तरी त्याला फार वेळ जाईल. आपण जरी जातीनिहाय मागच्या एक 10 वर्षापासून मतदारसंघ सोडायला लागलोय, परंतु ऍक्च्युअल तेवढी लोक तिथं नसतात, पण तो रिझर्व्ह केला जातो. पण आता भविष्यात काय होईल, एम्पेरिकल डेटा ज्यावेळेस उपलब्ध होईल त्याचा फार भयानक परिणाम भारतीय समाजाला भोगावे लागतील. कारण जातीभेद हा फार वाढणार त्याच्यामधनं. म्हणजे आपण जरी विविधतेतून एकतातून बांधलेला एक देश आहोत, पण हा फार मोठा समाजाचा तोटा होईल. कारण आरक्षण अशी गोष्ट आहे, कुठल्याही समाजाला किती द्यायचं म्हटलं तरी कुठलाही माणूस पृथ्वी तलावरचा हा समाधानीच होऊ शकत नाही. आणि एम्पेरिकल डेटाचा तो तोटा आपल्याला भोगावा लागेल भविष्यात.
ओके, थँक्यू सर.
Yes, if the questions are over, can we take up the formal vote of thanks, please? Mole sir?
Yes, sir. I am Machinda Mole. For vote of thanks, Dr. Sonawane Amit sir gave very nice and informative talk on the topic new trends in population geography and cover various points such as new trends in population growth, baby boom, demographic phenomena, young and old population, population aging, measures of population aging, various problems of the population, percentage of birth outside marriage, abortion rate, and various things in very well manner. So I thanks to Dr. Sonawane Amit sir. I would like to thanks to SP College Principal Professor Savita Datar ma'am, HOD Professor Sunil Gaikwad sir, Coordinator of this coursework Professor Dr. Manojkumar sir, Course Coordinator Dr. Ganesh Davle sir. Last but not least, I thanks to all research fellows for their kind patience and listening this lecture. Thank you very much to all.